blue sky above me. Didn't notice till now. Crosswalk counting down again. People rushing past my side. Phone still buzzing in my pocket, but I let it wait this time. Glass towers catching sunlight like they always do. Funny how I've walked this road 1,000 times with no view. Maybe I've been looking down for a little too long. Looking up for once, and the sky was still there, right above the traffic lights, floating through the summer air. Looking up for once, and the city felt lighter. Maybe nothing really changed. Maybe I just finally saw it. Someone laughing near the station, coffee cups and afternoon. A song inside my headphones turned the noise into a tune. Clouds were moving over Gangnam, slow enough to notice. And for a moment I forgot what I was chasing. Maybe I've been moving fast for a little too long. Looking up for once, and the sky was still there, right above the traffic lights, floating through the summer air. Looking up for once, and the city felt lighter. Maybe nothing really changed. Maybe I just finally saw it. No big answers, no grand sign, just a little space inside my mind. Looking up for once, and the sky stayed open. Not every question needs a reason. Not every moment needs a plan. Looking up for once, and somehow that was enough for tonight. Blue sky, still there. One song later, still standing here. Crosswalk counting down again. People moving left and right. Someone talking on the phone. Someone trying to catch the light. The same street, the same buildings. Nothing really new, but the sky looked a little wider than it used to. Maybe I was rushing, maybe I just forgot. One song later, and the city feels softer. Traffic passing by, but it doesn't feel as loud. One song later, and my mind feels lighter. Nothing really changed, but something settled down. Coffee cooling in my hand, clouds drifting over town. A song inside my headphones turned the noise into a sound. No big answers, no big moments, just an ordinary day. Funny how the smallest things can slowly change your way. Maybe I was searching for something that was already there. One song later, and the city feels softer. Traffic passing by, but it doesn't feel as loud. One song later, and my mind crossing streets and trains still running late. One song later and I'm still right here, but somehow I don't feel the same. One song later, still standing here. Red light blinking, still right here. Crosswalk numbers counting down, people rushing through the crowd. Someone laughing on the corner, someone talking way too loud. The same street I've walked forever, the same afternoon, but today I wasn't trying to get somewhere too soon. Maybe every minute doesn't need a plan. Waiting for the light, watching clouds above the traffic. The city moving fast, but I don't have to chase it. Waiting for the light, headphones on and nowhere urgent. For a little while I let the world keep turning. Coffee cooling in my hand, the bus pulling from the stop. A song playing through my earbuds right before it softly stopped. Nothing special really happened, nothing changed at all. Still somehow the afternoon felt lighter than before. Maybe every answer doesn't need to come today. Waiting for the light, watching clouds above the traffic. The city moving fast, but I don't have to chase it. Waiting for the light, headphones on and nowhere urgent. For a little while I let the world keep turning. I spent so long running, I forgot how standing still felt. Funny how a red light can give you a moment to breathe. Waiting for the light, and the sky stayed wide above me. People crossing streets while the afternoon kept glowing. Waiting for the light, nothing solved and nothing broken. Just a little space inside my thoughts. Red light fading, still right here. Cars rolling through the avenue, people crossing one by one. The afternoon keeps moving like it's chasing something. Glass reflections on the buildings, flashing in the light. Everybody seems to know exactly where they're headed. I was moving with them till I looked up. Blue above traffic, still hanging there. Above the crowded streets, above the noise and hurry. Blue above traffic, like it's always been. Funny how I almost missed it again. A bus pulling from the station, someone waiting by the sign. Music playing through my headphones, mixing with the city sounds. Clouds drifting over rooftops, slow against the sky. For a moment all the rush felt a little farther away. Nothing changed around me, but something changed inside. Blue above traffic, still hanging there. Above the crowded street, floats above the noise and hurry. Blue above traffic, like it's always been. Funny how I almost missed it again. Some things don't ask for attention, they just stay until you notice them. Blue above traffic, watching over everything. Cars still moving, people still running. Blue above traffic, and somehow that was enough for this afternoon. Blue above traffic. Sunlight on the windows painted every building gold. People rushing home again, like they always know where to go. I was standing by the corner, waiting for the light to change. For a moment everything looked different, but stayed the same. Maybe some days don't need a reason to feel alright. The city turned gold for a little while. Every street I knew looked new somehow. The city turned gold and I stopped thinking about tomorrow for a minute. Buses passing slowly, shadows stretching down the road. Music playing through my headphones like it already knew. The evening coming closer, the sky fading into blue. Funny how the smallest moments stay with you. Nothing really happened, still I didn't want to leave. The city turned gold for a little while. Every street I knew looked new somehow. The city turned gold and I stopped thinking about tomorrow for a minute. The traffic kept moving, the people kept walking, but the light made everything feel softer than before. The city turned gold and slowly faded back into another evening. Just like always, the city turned gold, and somehow that was enough. Office lights across the avenue started glowing one by one. The sky was slowly turning blue as the evening came undone. People heading for the station, coffee cups left on their desks. The city changing clothes again, right in front of me. Funny how a day can end without making any sound. The windows came alive across the skyline, little pieces of light shining through the night. The windows disappear. The windows came alive, one by one tonight, like little stars above the streets below. The windows came alive, and somehow that was enough for me. The traffic sounded farther away than it did this afternoon. The city lights were shining softly underneath the moon. I pulled my jacket open and slowed down for a while. Funny how a quiet evening can change your state of mind. Nothing happened, nothing new. Still the night felt different somehow. The air felt warmer tonight as I walked beneath the lights. The city didn't seem so loud. The world didn't feel so fast. The air felt warmer tonight, and I didn't ask why. I just kept walking with a lighter heart. Music drifting through my headphones like a familiar friend, following me through side streets that never seem to end. Every window glowing softly, every shadow looking kind. For the first time all day I wasn't chasing time. Maybe some nights are enough just as they are. The air felt warmer tonight as I walked beneath the lights. The city didn't seem so loud. The world didn't feel so fast. The air felt warmer tonight, and I didn't ask why. I just kept walking with a lighter heart. The air felt warmer tonight, and I wanted to stay a little longer in this feeling. The air felt warmer tonight, and somehow that was enough. The machine took my coin on the first try, which felt unusual somehow. The arcade machine near the station still works, even though the sticker on the side is peeling. Someone had taped a handwritten sign above it, asking people not to hit the buttons too hard. A teenager wearing headphones was standing there before I arrived. He left halfway through a game without finishing the last level. The air smelled faintly of dust and something sweet from the bakery upstairs. The ceiling speakers were playing a song nobody seemed to be listening to. I stood there longer than I meant to, watching the screen change colors. The arcade machine near the station still works, still making the same electronic sound, still flashing blue and orange every few seconds. And for some reason that felt reassuring, like the city hadn't replaced every single thing yet. A train announced announcement echoed downstairs, followed by the sound of closing doors. Someone dropped a handful of coins nearby and laughed while picking them back up. The score ranking screen still showed names from months ago. Nobody had bothered to change them, or maybe nobody cared enough to. Outside the station entrance, people hurried through the rain, but inside the arcade, everything moved a little slower. Sometimes familiar things survive without trying very hard. The arcade machine near the station still works, still glowing near the back wall, still waiting for the next person to stop for a minute. The city kept moving around it, but somehow it never seemed concerned. Maybe that's why I liked it. The game over screen appeared, then the music started again. The dryers were still turning long after most of the street had gone quiet. The laundromat lights were still on when I passed by after 11. A woman sat reading a magazine without turning the page for a while. Two machines hung near the back wall, one of them shaking slightly. A basket full of unfolded clothes waited beside a plastic chair outside. The rain had stopped an hour ago, but the sidewalk still reflected the store signs across the street. There was nothing remarkable about it, which might have been why I kept looking. The laundromat lights were still on, still glowing through the glass, still making the corner feel occupied even this late. And somehow that felt reassuring, like somebody else was still awake too. A dryer door opened suddenly, releasing a cloud of warm air. Someone folded a blue sweatshirt with the kind of focus usually reserved for important things. A delivery scooter passed outside, then disappeared around the block. The room returned to the same steady rhythm it had before. I checked the time, then put my phone away again. Some nights don't ask for answers, they just ask you to stay a little longer. The laundromat lights were still on, still bright against the dark streets, still reflecting in puddles near the crosswalk. The city felt quieter than usual, but not lonely, just awake in a different way. The dryers kept spinning, and nobody seemed in a hurry to leave. The windows were fogging up again near the back of the bus. The last bus smelled like rain and dust, the kind that lingers after a storm. Someone carried a folded umbrella, dripping quietly onto the floor. 3 people sat near the front. Without saying much, the driver adjusted the mirror once, then turned another corner. Streetlights passed across the glass, one after another, like someone flipping through photographs, too quickly to focus on. Nobody seemed in a hurry, which felt unusual for this city. The last bus smelled like rain and dust and warm air from damp jackets, the kind of smell that belongs to a specific night, not important enough to remember forever, but somehow impossible to forget completely. A station announcement played softly from someone's phone nearby, then disappeared beneath the sound of tires crossing wet pavement. The empty seats reflected small patches of orange light. Everything looked familiar, even though I couldn't explain why. I watched the city slide past without trying to hold on to it. Some nights don't leave a mark, they just stay somewhere in the background. The last bus smelled like rain and dust, like old sidewalks after midnight, like a day ending quietly without asking for attention. The city kept moving outside, but inside everything felt suspended for a little while. The doors opened at the final stop, and the cool air came in. The glass had already started fogging up from the cold air inside. The bookstore air conditioner made the windows fog up, blurring the shelves from the sidewalk. Someone stood near the fiction section, reading the first few pages of the same book twice. A stack of paperbacks leaned slightly near a display by the entrance, and a handwritten staff recommendation was taped beside a summer travel guide. Outside, the pavement still looked wet from rain earlier that evening. Street lights reflected in small puddles near the curb. I couldn't hear the conversations inside, but somehow the place still felt familiar. The bookstore air conditioner made the windows fog up, softening everything behind the glass. The books, the lights, the people moving quietly, and for a moment the whole place felt separate from the rest of the city. Someone carried a book to the register, then walked back for one more. The automatic door opened briefly, letting warm night air drift inside. A bicycle rolled past outside, sending water across the pavement. Then everything settled back into the same calm rhythm. I stayed there longer than I planned to, watching the lights through the glass. Some places feel cooler than the weather, and somehow warmer than expected. The bookstore air conditioner made the windows fog up, turning the streetlights into blurred circles. The city kept moving outside. Buses, rainwater, passing headlights, but in there everything felt slower, like the night had decided to stay a little longer. The door opened once more, and the summer air followed someone in. The street was almost empty, except for one set of headlights. The street sweeper passed before sunrise, moving slowly down the block. Its yellow lights reflected softly across the wet pavement. Most of the stores were still dark, their signs switched off for the night. Only a convenience store near the corner had someone working inside. The air felt cooler than before, not cold, just different, like the city was changing shifts. Somewhere between night and morning, everything seemed quieter. The street sweeper passed before sunrise, brushing yesterday into a neat line. The streets looked almost new again under the fading street lights. Nobody stopped to watch it, nobody needed to, but somehow it felt important anyway. A delivery truck crossed the intersection without another car in sight. The traffic signals changed on schedule for nobody at all. The sound of sweeping brushes echoed briefly between buildings, then faded into the distance. As it turned the next corner, I stood there for a moment, watching the road behind it. Some mornings begin quietly before anyone notices. The street sweeper passed before sunrise, leaving clean lines across the pavement. The city hadn't woken up yet, but it was getting ready to. The sky looked a little brighter now than it did an hour ago, and for the first time all night, morning felt close. The sound disappeared completely, and the birds started a few minutes later. The lights were already on when the sky was still dark. The coffee machine started before the sun came up, making the same familiar sound from somewhere behind the counter, before the doors were even unlocked. A delivery truck stopped outside for less than a minute, leaving a stack of cardboard boxes beside the entrance. The street street still belonged to the night, but only barely. Morning was already finding its way into the corners of the city. Some days begin quietly, long before most people notice. The coffee machine started before the sun came up, filling the room with a low, steady hum. The kind of sound that means the day has already started, even if the sky hasn't changed yet, even if the streetlights are still on. Somebody was already awake, getting ready for the morning. A cyclist passed through the intersection without stopping at the light. The newspaper stand remained closed for a few minutes longer. The smell of coffee drifted outside whenever the door opened, then disappeared into the cool air. Above the sidewalk, I stood across the street, watching the windows brighten. The city never really sleeps, it just changes, shifts. The coffee machine started before the sun came up, and the first customers weren't far behind. The sky looked lighter now than it did an hour ago. The night was still there, but only in small pieces. Morning was already taking over. The next pot started brewing before the first one had finished. I wasn't really paying attention to where I was going anymore. I thought I was lost sometime after midnight, when the familiar streets stopped feeling familiar. I crossed an intersection without recognizing it at first, then realized I'd been there dozens of times before. A convenience store sign flickered briefly above an empty sidewalk, and somewhere behind me a train passed through the dark. Nothing dramatic happened, I just kept walking. I thought I was lost, but I just kept going. One block became another, then another. The city slowly rearranged itself into something I recognized again, and before I noticed, I wasn't lost anymore. The sky looked lighter now than it did an hour ago. A few people had started their mornings while I was still finishing the night. The coffee shop on the corner had already opened, and someone was watering plants outside an apartment building. Everything felt ordinary, which somehow helped. Maybe direction isn't something you find, maybe it arrives while you're moving. I thought I was lost, but I just kept going. Not because I had a plan, just because stopping felt unnecessary. The streets stayed quiet, the morning kept coming, and eventually everything made sense again. The sun hadn't fully risen yet, but it was close. The platform was quieter than I remembered. The first train sounded different this morning. Not louder, not slower, just different. Somehow the tracks carried the sound across the empty station, while the sky above the buildings turned gradually blue. A few people stood waiting, holding coffee cups, looking tired enough to still belong to the night. The arrival screen flickered once, then settled back into place. Nothing unusual happened, but the morning felt new anyway. The first train sounded different this morning, echoing through the station air, like the city had quietly decided to start over again. Not all at once, just little by little. The same streets, the same people, the same trains, seen differently. A newspaper rolled slightly across the platform floor. Someone adjusted a backpack strap and checked the time again. The train doors opened with the same familiar sound, but after everything that came before, it didn't feel the same. The station lights switched off one row at a time as daylight took their place. Some nights stay with you even after they're over. The first train sounded different this morning, like the city was waking up beside me. The sky had already changed without asking permission, and somewhere between night and day, everything felt a little clearer. Not because anything was solved, just because I kept going. The train pulled away, and the morning followed it. Blue sky above me, didn't notice till now. Crosswalk counting down again, people rushing past my side. Phone still buzzing in my pocket, but I let it wait this time. Glass towers catching sunlight like they always do. Funny how I've walked this road 1,000 times with no view. Maybe I've been looking down for a little too long. Looking up for once, and the sky was still there, right above the traffic lights, floating through the summer air. Looking up for once, and the city felt lighter. Maybe nothing really changed. Maybe I just finally saw it. Someone laughing near the station, coffee cups and afternoon. A song inside my headphones turned the noise into a tune. Clouds were moving over Gangnam, slow enough to notice, and for a moment I forgot what I was chasing. Maybe I've been moving fast for a little too long. Looking up for once, and the sky was still there, right above the traffic lights, floating through the summer air. Looking up for once, and the city felt lighter. Maybe nothing really changed. Maybe I just finally saw every question needs a reason. Not every moment needs a plan. Looking up for once, and somehow that was enough for tonight. Blue sky, still there. One song later, still standing here. Crosswalk counting down again. People moving left and right. Someone talking on the phone. Someone trying to catch the light. The same street, the same buildings. Nothing really new, but the sky looked a little wider than it used to. Maybe I was rushing, maybe I just forgot. One song later, and the city feels softer. Traffic passing by, but it doesn't feel as loud. One song later, and my mind feels lighter. Nothing really changed, but something settled down. Coffee cooling in my hand, clouds drifting over town. A song inside my headphones turned the noise into a sound. No big answers, no big moments, just an ordinary day. Funny how the smallest things can slowly change your way. Maybe I was searching for something that was already there. One song later, and the city feels softer. Traffic passing by, but it doesn't feel as loud. One song later, and my mind feels lighter. Nothing really changed, but something settled down. I stopped checking every thought as if it needed fixing, and let the afternoon be exactly what it was. One song later, and the world keeps moving. People crossing streets, and trains still running late. One song later, and I'm still right here, but somehow I don't feel the same. One song later, still standing here. Red light blinking, still right here. Crosswalk numbers counting down, people rushing through the crowd. Someone laughing on the corner, someone talking way too loud. The same street I've walked forever, the same afternoon, but today I wasn't trying to get somewhere too soon. Maybe every minute doesn't need a plan. Waiting for the light, watching clouds above the traffic. The city moving fast, but I don't have to chase it. Waiting for the light, headphones on and nowhere urgent. For a little while I let the world keep turning. Coffee cooling in my hand, the bus pulling from the stop. A song playing through my earbuds right before it softly stopped. Nothing special really happened, nothing changed at all. Still somehow the afternoon felt lighter than before. Maybe every answer doesn't need to come today. Waiting for the light, watching clouds above the traffic. The city moving fast, but I don't have to chase give you a moment to breathe. Waiting for the light, and the sky stayed wide above me. People crossing streets while the afternoon kept glowing. Waiting for the light, nothing solved and nothing broken. Just a little space inside my thoughts. Red light fading, still right here. Cars rolling through the avenue, people crossing one by one. The afternoon keeps moving like it's chasing something. Glass reflections on the buildings, flashing in the light. Everybody seems to know exactly where they're headed. I was moving with them till I looked up. Blue above traffic, still hanging there. Above the crowded streets, above the noise and hurry. Blue above traffic, like it's always been. Funny how I almost missed it again. A bus pulling from the station, someone waiting by the sign. Music playing through my headphones, mixing with the city sounds. Clouds drifting over rooftops, slow against the sky. For a moment all the rush felt a little farther away. Nothing changed around me, but something changed inside. Blue above traffic, still hanging there. Above the crowded streets, above the noise and hurry. Blue above traffic, like it's always been. Funny how I almost missed it again. Some things don't ask for attention, they just stay until you notice them. Blue above traffic, watching over everything. Cars still moving, people still running. Blue above traffic, and somehow that was enough for this afternoon. Blue above traffic. Sunlight on the windows, painted every building gold. People rushing home again, like they always know where to go. I was standing by the corner, waiting for the light to change. For a moment everything looked different, but stayed the same. Maybe some days don't need a reason to feel alright. The city turned gold for a little while. Every street I knew looked new somehow. The city turned gold and I stopped thinking about tomorrow for a minute. Buses passing slowly, shadows stretching down the road. Music playing through my headphones like it already knew. The evening coming closer, the sky fading into blue. Funny how the smallest moments I didn't want to leave. The city turned gold for a little while. Every street I knew looked new somehow. The city turned gold and I stopped thinking about tomorrow for a minute. The traffic kept moving, the people kept walking, but the light made everything feel softer than before. The city turned gold and slowly faded back into another evening. Just like always, the city turned gold, and somehow that was enough. Office lights across the avenue started glowing one by one. The sky was slowly turning blue as the evening came undone. People heading for the station, coffee cups left on their desks. The city changing clothes again, right in front of me. Funny how a day can end without making any sound. The windows came alive across the skyline, little pieces of light shining through the night. The windows came alive, and for a moment the whole city felt warm again. Traffic rolling through the crossroads like a river made of stars. Music drifting through my headphones, following me through the dark. Nothing special really happened, nothing I could write about. Still somehow I wanted to stay a little longer. Some evenings don't need reasons to be remembered. The windows came alive across the skyline, little pieces of light shining through the night. The windows came alive, and for a moment the whole city felt warm again. I used to rush past moments like they weren't meant for me. Now I stop and watch them before they disappear. The windows came alive one by one tonight, like little stars above the streets below. The windows came alive, and somehow that was enough for me. The traffic sounded farther away than it did this afternoon. The city lights were shining softly underneath the moon. I pulled my jacket open and slowed down for a while. Funny how a quiet evening can change your state of mind. Nothing happened, nothing new. Still the night felt different somehow. The air felt warmer tonight as I walked beneath the lights. music drifting through my headphones, like a familiar friend following me through side streets that never seem to end. Every window glowing softly, every shadow looking kind. For the first time all day I wasn't chasing time. Maybe some nights are enough just as they are. The air felt warmer tonight as I walked beneath the lights. The city didn't seem so loud. The world didn't feel so fast. The air felt warmer tonight and I didn't ask why. I just kept walking with a lighter heart. The air felt warmer tonight and I wanted to stay a little longer in this feeling. The air felt warmer tonight and somehow that was enough. The machine took my coin on the first try, which felt unusual somehow. The arcade machine near the station still works, even though the sticker on the side is peeling. Someone had taped a handwritten sign above it, asking people not to hit the buttons too hard. A teenager wearing headphones was standing there before I arrived. He left halfway through a game without finishing the last level. The air smelled faintly of dust and something sweet from the bakery upstairs. The ceiling speakers were playing a song nobody seemed to be listening to. I stood there longer than I meant to, watching the screen change colors. The arcade machine near the station still works, still making the same electronic sound, still flashing blue and orange every few seconds. And for some reason that felt reassuring, like the city hadn't replaced every single thing yet. A train announcement echoed downstairs, followed by the sound of closing doors. Someone dropped a handful of coins nearby and laughed while picking them back up. The score ranking screen still showed names from months ago. Nobody had bothered to change them, or maybe nobody cared enough to. Outside the station entrance, people hurried through the rain, but inside the arcade, everything moved a little slower. Sometimes familiar things survive without trying very hard. The arcade machine near the station still works, still glowing near the back wall, still waiting for the next person to stop for a minute. The city kept moving around it, but somehow it never seemed concerned. Maybe that's why I liked it. The game over screen appeared, then the music started again. The dryers were still turning long after most of the street had gone quiet. The laundromat lights were still on when I passed by after 11. A woman sat reading a magazine without turning the page for a while. Two machines hung near the back wall, one of them shaking slightly. A basket full of unfolded clothes waited beside a plastic chair outside. The rain had stopped an hour ago, but the sidewalk still reflected the store signs across the street. There was nothing remarkable about it, which might have been why I kept looking. The laundromat lights were still on, still glowing through the glass, still making the corner feel occupied even this late. And somehow that felt reassuring, like somebody else was still awake too. A dryer door opened suddenly, releasing a cloud of warm air. Someone folded a blue sweatshirt with the kind of focus usually reserved for important things. A delivery scooter passed outside, then disappeared around the block. The room returned to the same steady rhythm it had before. I checked the time, then put my phone away again. Some nights don't ask for answers, they just ask you to stay a little longer. The laundromat lights were still on, still bright against the dark streets, still reflecting in puddles near the crosswalk. The city felt quieter than usual, but not lonely, just awake in a different way. The dryers kept spinning, and nobody seemed in a hurry to leave. The windows were fogging up again near the back of the bus. The last bus smelled like rain and dust, the kind that lingers after a storm. Someone carried a folded umbrella, dripping quietly onto the floor. Three people sat near the front without saying much. The driver adjusted the mirror once, then turned another corner. Streetlights passed across the glass, one after another, like someone flipping through photographs too quickly to focus on. Nobody seemed in a hurry, which felt unusual for this city. The last bus smelled like rain and dust and warm air from damp jackets, the kind of smell that belongs to a specific night, not important enough to remember forever, but somehow impossible to forget completely. A station announcement played softly from someone's phone nearby, then disappeared beneath the sound of tires crossing wet pavement. The empty seats reflected small patches of orange light. Everything looked familiar, even though I couldn't explain why. I watched the city slide past without trying to hold on to it. Some nights don't leave a mark, they just stay somewhere in the background. The last bus smelled like rain and dust, like old sidewalks after midnight, like a day ending quietly without asking for attention. The city kept moving outside, but inside everything felt suspended for a little while. The doors opened at the final stop, and the cool air came in. The glass had already started fogging up from the cold air inside. The bookstore air conditioner made the windows fog up, blurring the shelves from the sidewalk. Someone stood near the fiction section, reading the first few pages of the same book twice. A stack of paperbacks leaned slightly near a display by the entrance, and a handwritten staff recommendation was taped beside a summer travel guide. Outside, the pavement still looked wet from rain earlier that evening. Street lights reflected in small puddles near the curb. I couldn't hear the conversations inside, but somehow the place still felt familiar. The bookstore air conditioner made the windows fog up, softening everything behind the glass. The books, the lights, the people moving quietly, and for a moment the whole place felt separate from the rest of the city. Someone carried a book to the register, then walked back for one more. The automatic door opened briefly, letting warm night air drift inside. A bicycle rolled past outside, sending water across the pavement. Then everything settled back into the same calm rhythm. I stayed there longer than I planned to, watching the lights through the glass. Some places feel cooler than the weather, and somehow warmer than expected. The bookstore air conditioner made the windows fog up, turning the streetlights into blurred circles. The city kept moving outside. Buses, rainwater, passing headlights, but in there everything felt slower, like the night had decided to stay a little longer. The door opened once more, and the summer air followed someone in. The street was almost empty, except for one set of headlights. The street sweeper passed before sunrise, moving slowly down the block. Its yellow lights reflected softly across the wet pavement. Most of the stores were still dark, their signs switched off for the night. Only a convenience store near the corner had someone working inside. The air felt cooler than before, not cold, just different. Like the city was changing shifts somewhere between night and morning. Everything seemed quieter. The street sweeper passed before sunrise, brushing yesterday into a neat line. The streets looked almost new again under the fading street lights. Nobody stopped to watch it, nobody needed to, but somehow it felt important anyway. A delivery truck crossed the intersection without another car in sight. The traffic signals changed on schedule for nobody at all. The sound of sweeping brushes echoed briefly between buildings, then faded into the distance. As it turned the next corner, I stood there for a moment, watching the road behind it. Some mornings begin quietly before anyone notices. The street sweeper passed before sunrise, leaving clean lines across the pavement. The city hadn't woken up yet, but it was getting ready to. The sky looked a little brighter now than it did an hour ago. And for the first time all night, morning felt close. The sound disappeared completely, and the birds started a few minutes later. The lights were already on when the sky was still dark. The coffee machine started before the sun came up, making the same familiar sound from somewhere behind the counter, before the doors were even unlocked. A delivery truck stopped outside for less than a minute, leaving a stack of cardboard boxes beside the entrance. The street still belonged to the night, but only barely. Morning was already finding its way into the corners of the city. Some days begin quietly, long before most people notice. The coffee machine started before the sun came up, filling the room with a low, steady hum. The kind of sound that means the day has already started, even if the sky hasn't changed yet, even if the street lights are still on. Somebody was already awake, getting ready for the morning. A cyclist passed through the intersection without stopping at the light. The newspaper stand remained closed for a few minutes longer. The smell of coffee drifted outside whenever the door opened, then disappeared into the cool air. Above the sidewalk, I stood across the street, watching the windows brighten. The city never really sleeps, it just changes, shifts. The coffee machine started before the sun came up, and the first customers weren't far behind. The sky looked lighter now than it did an hour ago. The night was still there, but only in in small pieces. Morning was already taking over. The next pot started brewing before the first one had finished. I wasn't really paying attention to where I was going anymore. I thought I was lost sometime after midnight, when the familiar streets stopped feeling familiar. I crossed an intersection without recognizing it at first, then realized I'd been there dozens of times before. A convenience store sign flickered briefly above an empty sidewalk, and somewhere behind me a train passed through the dark. Nothing dramatic happened, I just kept walking. I thought I was lost, but I just kept going. One block became another, then another. The city slowly rearranged itself into something I recognized again. And before I noticed, I wasn't lost anymore. The sky looked lighter now than it did an hour ago. A few people had started their mornings while I was still finishing the night. The coffee shop on the corner had already opened, and someone was watering plants outside an apartment building. Everything felt ordinary, which somehow helped. Maybe direction isn't something you find. Maybe it arrives while you're moving. I thought I was lost, but I just kept going. Not because I had a plan, just because stopping felt unnecessary. The streets stayed quiet, the morning kept coming, and eventually everything made sense again. The sun hadn't fully risen yet, but it was close. The platform was quieter than I remembered. The first train sounded different this morning. Not louder, not slower, just different. Somehow the tracks carried the sound across the empty station, while the sky above the buildings turned gradually blue. A few people stood waiting, holding coffee cups, looking tired enough to still belong to the night. The arrival screen flickered once, then settled back into place. Nothing unusual happened, but the morning felt new anyway. The first train sounded different this morning, echoing through the station air, like the city had quietly decided to start over again. Not all at once, just little by little. The same streets, the same people, the same trains, seen differently. A newspaper rolled slightly across the platform floor. Someone adjusted a backpack strap and checked the time again. The train doors opened with the same familiar sound, but after everything that came before, it didn't feel the same. The station lights switched off one row at a time as daylight took their place. Some nights stay with you even after they're over. The first train sounded different this morning, like the city was waking up beside me. The sky had already changed without asking permission. And somewhere between night and day, everything felt a little clearer. Not because anything was solved, just because I kept going. The train pulled away, and the morning followed it.